early evening, my comrades, and welcome to the 2021 Mercedes AMG GLA45 crossover. This puppy starts around $55,000. This one, in its trim with all the fixins, all the nice leather, all the options, and the aerodynamics package, which I'll get to a little bit later, comes in at a hearty $68,000 thereabouts. And let me tell you, it is $68,000 well spent. It is... I didn't think it would be possible for them to make, for anyone to make such a fun crossover, but my gosh, Mercedes went ahead and did it. Historically, for those of you who have not been following along in the GLA, it's marketed as it's always been marketed as a crossover, but it's really more of just a gigantic hot hatch, at least before the previous generation, the 2015. There's a little bit of a refresh in there up until through 2020. This one, though, this brand new one, this new generation, is firmly in crossover territory for sure. It's pretty darn big. However, it still handles like a gigantic hot hatch. In fact, it's more so like a big rally car because it's got clearance, it's got more sidewall in the tires. It handles so well, and it's got great grip in the corners, and yet it's very comfortable and can roll over a lot of stuff. So I've been referring to it as the gigantic rally car in my week with it. This is actually my last night with it before it goes back to the press pool. So really glad I could get this video in before that happened. So on the inside, we've got a nice, modern, current Mercedes interior, lots of leather. This one in particular is spec'd pretty high with all kinds of comfort amenities, hence the $68,000 price point. Space-wise, it's such a great place to be. I've got all the headroom in here, so this is kind of nice about it being kind of like a small crossover, big hatchback, and it's a small crossover. Lots of headroom, like up front, I've got lots of elbow room. My head does not really hit over here like it normally does in a lot of, you know, fast enthusiast cars. Got all this room in here. Oh, and also, of course, you know, like a lot of current Mercedes, they have that, and that's super nice. But yeah, all the legroom, I can, you know, all the adjustments to go back and forth, I can really customize that a lot. And of course, the seat, you can change the lumbar support quite a bit. It's very nice. Let me show you really quickly. Look at all the room back here. Oh my gosh. So, modern crossover. Man, I'm used to modern cars, especially like small modern cars, not being too nice for tall people, especially myself, you know, long torsoed. And I've got so much headroom back here, and just general room. And not only that, but the visibility is so nice. So visibility is good from here, but up front, it just, you know, you don't really have a blind spot. You can see so easily out of it, yet you still have that kind of like high door card thing going on that modern Mercedes cars have. So you're sitting up high and you've got a great driver position with good visibility, yet it's also sporty, and I really, really dig that about modern Mercedes. In particular with this GLA45. So part of the aerodynamics package is a sweet wing. Yeah, see, it's not small. It's not like the old one where it's, you know, it's a big hatchback. This is firmly a crossover. It's got bigger upgraded brakes, of course. This is a goofy. Check this out. Dive planes, or this is like the lower splitter, but like dive planes on a crossover SUV. How fun is that? Yeah, the look is good too. I mean, you know, it's big, but it's still, it looks great. Looks nice and sporty. The new design language that they use, so the different tail lights, well, just kind of different, very different altogether, but I really like that right there. But different altogether, but still very sporty, very, very fun. Yeah, that front end is great. Don't really want to walk out in traffic, so let's just take a step back right here. Yeah, no, very cool. I love these mesh wheels too. These mesh wheels, I think they put that on a few different Mercedes cars. They look great on this. You can get an idea too, looking at that. Indeed, there's a little bit of you know, there's some room in that wheel well. Pretty wild. Let's go ahead and get over and continue on. And of course, most importantly, with this being an AMG car, thing is so fast. Oh my gosh. Hand-built 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4, and the thing just rips. Car weighs around 3,500 pounds or so. You'd think, looking at it, it looks a little bit bigger than that, but my God, this thing just rips and hauls. 0 to 60, I mean, Mercedes estimates like 4.3 seconds, which is insane, but I've read from a couple of sources that 4.0 seconds is very doable. How cool is that? And to kind of demonstrate that and discuss that a little further, let's take a look at how it does in the canyons, my friends. So let's talk about this thing's power and handling. Oh my gosh, is this a lot of fun. So we've got independent suspension at all 4 corners, we've got adaptive dampers, and because it's a Mercedes AMG car, got all kinds of adjustment here. So I'm in Sport Plus right now for my dampers, and then exhaust is on loud, so red mode, and it's tuned up to race mode right now, so it's the most aggressive shifts, the most aggressive throttle mapping, all that good stuff. And let me tell you, it is a blast. So because this is more of a crossover than a hatchback than it used to be, I'm actually more surprised about how well it handles and how it grips and steers, because, I mean, granted, you do feel the heft, especially in the tighter stuff. I'm not in the tighter stuff right now, but when you're going through some tighter successions of corners that require a lot of lock, you know, you do start to feel that you are in a little crossover that's, you know, it's up in the air a little bit. However, long sweepers like this, gosh, it feels just as good and planted and capable and devoid of body roll as something much smaller than its size. The damping is very good, and I think it also helps that this thing's got some bigger series tires on it than, say, the A35 AMG or the CLA AMG cars. Wow, it really held that gear for a long time. You know, and because of that, this thing is much more livable. You've got actual, like, physical like tire dampening going on, which is kind of rare, it seems, for high-end performance European cars, especially, you know, again, this is a crossover, but man, the added sidewall on these tires really helps with kind of dealing with the BS, you know, dealing with bumpy Los Angeles streets, undulations on the freeway, stuff like that. It really helps a lot. And also just kind of clearing driveways and getting over stuff, and, you know, going over massive bumps in the road. Those rocks I just ran over, it really does a great job at that, while also maintaining, you know, a pretty darn good ride that's, like I said earlier, devoid of body roll, and that's really cool. Steering is very light. Feel is good though. In fact, feel, you do get like vibration from, you know, what's going on under the hood through the steering wheel, so that's kind of cool. Steering is light, it loads up nicely in corners, nice enough. It's direct, but however, the first couple of centimeters of movement in either direction, so like that, you know, it's lazy and you don't really feel anything. And I think that's really just because of the tires. I don't think that's because of the you know, any knock against the rack in this thing and any knock against how Mercedes engineered it. But here's a nice, see, there's nothing going on the first couple centimeters of movement in either direction. The brakes are very strong, very strong. They don't even look that massive on the outside. Maybe it's just because of the bigger bodywork, but my gosh, do they work well. And also the brake pedal feel itself, it's not a progressive brake pedal. It's fairly progressive. You feel the pressure build up enough, but and they're not grabby either, which I appreciate. It's actually all around a very good kind of, yeah, no, it's very nice, because that allows you to it allows you to kind of slow down and brake really hard and turn into a corner really fast. You're able to trail brake this thing surprisingly well for being a 30, yeah, see, like transitioning from brake to gas is very easy with this for being a like 34 to 3,600 pound crossover. God, that sounds so good high up in the register there. Oh man. So the engine, this 2-liter, handcrafted in Germany by AMG inline 4 with a pretty big old turbo on it. It's a riot. 380 horsepower, something like 340, 360 pound-feet of torque. Look, it's just holding the revs like it's nothing, like it's meant to be there. Oh my gosh, this engine is a riot. It makes the right noises. You can hear the turbo spool and make all kinds of cool noises when you've got the windows down. It's just awesome. I love this engine so much. I wish they put this in more cars. Hooked up to this glorious engine is a 7-speed dual clutch gearbox, and I will say, after driving the A35 AMG earlier this year, the CLA35 last year, let's see, E63S AMG wagon, this one, the shifts are very smooth. I was very surprised. Those were some sharp rocks. But the shifts are very smooth. They're very good. It's not super great. It doesn't like punish you when you're upshifting and downshifting, especially when you're downshifting up to a light, which is what I found to be a good litmus test for AMG cars' dual clutch gearboxes. Oh yeah, you just hear that boom, you just hear it upshift, and that's that. In fact, it kind of gives you a little bit of delay when you're upshifting under load with your foot in it, and I think I dig that. It kind of makes it sound like a sequential gearbox or something. You know, it has that very pronounced thud sound, you know, not literally like, you know, horrible mechanical thud. It actually has a sound of like, you know, a very crisp, amazing gear change, and that's so cool. But yeah, coming up to a light, it doesn't like jostle you super hard, which I definitely appreciate, and shows that they really did their homework tuning this gearbox. I just upshifted and I confused it because I put my foot down. Anyway, there we go. So you can kind of confuse it a little bit, you know, but that was a rare instance. The shifters themselves, the paddles that you shift, they feel like they're metal. They might just be like a quality plastic, but they feel like they're actual metal, and they are so nice to shift. I mean, they are big pieces of material. I think they're metal. They feel metallic. They gotta be. But they feel so good to just like, even just keep your fingers on, not even shift, like keep it in full auto and just like rest your fingers on them. It's just, there's a lot going on in this interior, materials quality wise, but you know, this is just a nice little extra touch that makes especially the important, crucial touch points all the more nicer. Look at that turning radius. That is very good. That is very good indeed. Yeah, as far as a dailyable, gigantic hot hatch goes, this car is very good. It handles just like daily street type stuff like that, you know, that quick little turnaround I did. It handles stuff like that so well, but it's also like more comfortable than other tuned up hot cars, you know, hot AMG cars or M cars, whatever. It's more comfortable. The body roll is very well contained. It shines through. You know, the weight and the fact that you're sitting up a little bit more than usual definitely shines through when you're in tighter corners, but otherwise, this thing is very, very good for its size and its ride height. It's also so easy to get in and out of. You've got these massive doors here that make ingress and egress so easy. Anyone who has maybe a little bit of trouble doing so in any car and wants something fun that they can whip around and have, you know, all the joy in the world in, you can see the light setup I've got going on in this thing. Anyone who wants, you know, something that's easier to get in and out of but still wants to have fun and wants to rip through some fun corners, this is a very compelling choice for sure. Gosh, even if you're just a tall guy like me where you're sick of getting in and out of like small vehicles, but you don't want to drive like an SUV or a truck, and you want something, you know, that can really hold the lateral G-forces. Whoa, GT4 just ripped by. That was sick. Nice. You know, if you're just like a larger person and want something easy to get in and out of, this could be the ticket. Well, my friends, while I'm stuck here waiting to turn right at the stop sign up ahead, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate the views, and let me know how I did. Did you like my voice? I hate my voice, but, you know, did I say some interesting stuff? Did I touch upon some points that nobody else did? Was I entertaining enough? Don't tell me how my driving was. I don't care. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Oh boy, look at that. Oh, ho, ho. On the outside, crossing the double yellow. Oh boy. Prius went for it. It's funny, they didn't let me buy earlier, but you know, apparently they'll go around the double yellow for, you know, to pass someone else. And now I'm gonna get up on the Prius's bumper and they're not gonna let me buy. They're mobbing it though. Okay, okay. For a Prius, I should say.